I bought it with my own money. What sewing machine has to do with hand embroidery? Nothing. It's a machine.
Hello and welcome to Spot the L series of documenting the lesbian stories. And today I have with me Ieva Mits. There are many legends traveling around Riga, I believe, about who are you, what have you done, and so on. But I will not explain it myself, but I will try to guide it maybe through the questions.
Okay.
But my first question is, first of all, welcome. And thank you for agreeing to be part of this. We have another guest here as well.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. But yes, legendary personality.
Wow.
But where has it started? Who are you and where has it started? Because in this series we're talking about lesbians. We're documenting basically the lesbian history, and I do think that you're a big part of it in Riga, in Latvia. But let's start from the beginning. Who are you and how did you start? And how come you're part of the L in the queer alphabet mafia?
So who am I? That's like a very hard question. And just now I had the idea, a thought that I think for the longest time I tried to, whenever someone would ask me, who are you? I would try to explain it without telling what I do for work, for money. But to be quite honest, just recently I understood that for me personally, what I do is actually like a mirror of who am I. Well, it was not always like that, but for the past years, for sure, what I do is very deeply connected with who I am. And where it started, you want me to start chronologically from the beginning of time?
Yeah, because like, you know, for some, it's like, there are some people who were born like that, so to say, and they knew it from the very first day they remembered themselves, that they have been part of the community, or like they knew their personality and who they are from the very beginning. But for some of us, it has been a journey of, you know, first it's the society or the family building up your personality or perception or how you express yourself, but for some it just happens naturally. How was it in your case? Did you know it from the very beginning? I also am looking at your hair right now. These are lesbian colors.
Very much a lesbian, yeah. 35, and just now the outside is representing what I feel inside. It was supposed to be red, and it was for one day, and it washed out because I was angry and I wanted some red hair, but that's a different story. So my lesbian story, I think there will be no big coming out stories or no big existential crisis about who am I, what is my identity. I never went through it. I never questioned a lot of things, but if I'm looking back, that is very connected with the fact that there was no real lesbian representation. So at least in my bubble where I lived and in my friend group, I didn't have a lot of information, or I would say I didn't have any information. I knew that there's some gay people, which are men, and that's it. And I did date girls whatsoever. I did date them when I was like 14, 15, 16. Like they were very romantic kind of dates, which I did find these girls on public chat rooms, which was a thing back then.
Such a millennial thing, actually.
Yeah, because we didn't have dating apps, and actually I think like I didn't have internet or anything at home, and I was in these chat rooms at my mom's work as well. So that's a thing, also a very millennial thing, where either it's the family computer or you're at your parents' workplace or something. So yeah, I was very curious, but I would say I've been curious about a lot of things in my life, and this was one of them. And I did go on some very romantic dates. Some kissing was involved, but I never talked to anyone about that. I didn't talk to my parents, my friends, but I had the knowledge and I don't know how to explain it. But I never had the idea that I'm a lesbian up until I would say like I was 20. I knew that I'm dating, of course I knew because I was doing it. I knew that I'm like dating girls secretly, but again, I didn't feel like I'm doing anything wrong, but I didn't also feel like I should explain myself or be honest with someone. So I didn't have the burden of feeling like I am wrong, I'm doing something wrong, this is not okay. I also didn't feel like I'm a lesbian. I didn't even, I really don't know how to explain it. I didn't like really think about it. I just went for it. And I had the idea that all my girlfriends are also probably dating girls because hey, girls are cool and cooler than guys. And we just don't talk about it. But again, looking back, there was no representation, but I think the good thing for me is that, yeah, I didn't have these negative kind of feelings or I didn't feel like, also I didn't feel like I have to explain myself. And that comes not only with me dating girls, but whatever I did in life. And when it comes to my parents as well, very early on, I understood that they are just human beings. They're doing this for the first time. My mom and dad had me when they were 20. And early on, I was like, oh, like I can do whatever I want to do and I don't have to explain myself. And from that comes this kind of very hyper independent life, which, yeah, difficult times, but you know, therapy, growing up and realizing things, and it's fine. But so there's some perks with it as well. So yeah, and I would say I am a late bloomer, I guess, because my first like real relationship, whatever that is, like real relationship where I was together for like a longer period of time, was only in my like mid-20s, I would say. And again, I didn't come out really to no one. It was more just, I think first of all, first was my brother, I think, and I was just like, oh, I'm seeing this girl. And he was like, ugh.
First, you mean in coming out?
Yeah, first, the first person I came out to was my brother. Yeah, and he's gay, and he was just like, yay, community. And then for my mom as well, because she noticed that because I was living already my adult life. And yeah, I didn't have the feeling to explain to anyone that I am dating girls occasionally or whatever, because I did date some guys for a longer time, and still I identify as lesbian, but still I don't feel like I abused myself by dating guys. You know, it's like this weird kind of, I don't know, mix of things, like a cocktail of different feelings. But in my brain, it's like, yeah, I dated guys. Most of them, first of all, they were my best friends. Is the cat eating? Is it fine?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we're trying to do this, or I'm trying to do this in the most authentic way.
Good.
Because that's your environment. And
yeah,
I think that's
my
also
home. Yeah.
one important part of, if we're talking about these stories, it's in a way a vulnerable place as well. And I really want for people to be in their own environment that is theirs, that is fully, representing and supporting them. Well, we're talking about these stories.
Perfect then.
Yes, absolutely. So from what I hear from you, there was no phase of like life before this realization and after, because you didn't really have this realization. That was just a normal.
It just sort of
thing.
happened. Yeah, and if I'm looking back at my life and if I think about it, how was it? I think it was very easy. It was very natural. It was. For me, it was whatever. Of course, there were some of my friends who were like, oh my God, how did we never like know this about you? I'm like, I don't know. And I didn't feel like I have to explain. I had some jealous girlfriends, hetero girlfriends, of course, who were like, didn't you like me? And I'm like, oh, doesn't work like that, But yeah, most of my relationships romantically usually started with friendships. And that's why it was easy. I think it kind of easy to date guys. Of course, physically I was not really into it, let's be honest. And once I was in a longer relationship with a girl, I was like, okay, I'm never going back, you know.
Now it makes sense. Huh?
Yeah, everything makes sense. Everything is more like, everything falls into place. It's much more, I don't know, easy even. I think easy is the word, because when I was dating guys, the life felt more difficult, just because there was some sort of inner internalized something, you know, which was not clicking the right way. And still I managed, and like I said, I never really had big coming out or big realizations. It felt like, yep, this is supposed to be like that. And the more, if you were talking about life before and after, then again, hello, ielaidīsi viņu. Paldies.
The life before and after.
So the life, we're talking about, yeah, the term of the life before and after. Then for me, coming into the queer community, there's some life before and after, because up until I think my like 29, 30 years, I didn't really know that there's a community here in Latvia. I didn't look for it because, again, I didn't have these existential maybe questions, or I had like really good friend group where I felt safe. But then you get into the community of queer people and you understand that actually there is a difference. And my very, I don't know, good friends, people around me who were very supportive, actually are not that supportive. They are supportive, but you don't know supportiveness, and like even the saying of a safe space, it's something different once you experience being in actually queer places with queer people. So I would say that in this sense of where my life shifted, once I more and more became myself and more honest with myself, and once I found actually randomly some more queer people in this community, I think was the moment where I started to realize actually my power, I would say, and actually it built my confidence enormously, because before that I thought I am confident, but you can't compare it even. So yeah, there's this kind of another like realization, I think.
If we talk about this life before you got more into the queer community here, how was life? Even though from what I understand, you're not like, you just went with life and you know this is the normal and then we just live it. But how did you find, because you have been dating, you have been having some friends, but how did you find people? And how did life feel? Did it feel lonely? Did it feel normal when you are not surrounded by this queer aura? I don't know how to call it.
I think it felt normal at the time, because the people around me, most of them, because I don't judge people, I never have judged people, which I think everyone shouldn't judge people based on their sexuality, race, and blah, blah, blah. So I think I had the feeling that I have a great friend group around me. I had many, many different jobs in my life, so I was always bouncing around my career choices, schools, people, so all over the place, in generally speaking, like all the time in all my fields, I was like all over, yes. And so I never really, had a deeper thought about it maybe. So I felt good and it was fine, but did I feel lonely? Yeah, most definitely, a lot of the times. So the only outlet to actually be you, completely you, because I think I'm always me, but again, if you don't have anything to compare it with, it's hard to tell. And the only places where I could find people, let's say like me, or just lesbians, you know, it's online dating, and actually me coming more closely and coming into a queer community was through dating, because you meet a lesbian, maybe it works out, maybe not, but you learn that maybe she's doing this and that, and maybe she's with this community, and you're like, whoa, what is that? I didn't know we have that. And you know, Riga is so small, and I'm thinking, how did I, up until 30 years, like didn't know these things? Because it's so easy to be stuck in your own bubble, and I'm not saying that the bubble was bad or anything, but oh my God, how happy am I that I am that I did date, and through that I was open to meeting new people, and I think that's the key for me. And my whole life, actually, I don't have a big plan, and I don't know what I want to do with my life. I never have. And
who are you gonna be when you grow up? Huh?
Yeah, I still don't know. Every day I'm asking myself, I'm 35 and I don't know what I'm gonna do with my adult life. But I think, yeah, the biggest thing in my life is that there's just some opportunities that are coming my way, or I have an idea, and then I have this choice. Do I say yes, no, do I pursue it? And this is how my life and everything shapes around it. Career-wise, professionally, my relationship-wise, because there are choices to make, there are opportunities. It's just, yeah, what you do with it. And I still don't know, like I said, what I want to do in my life.
It's the cold season.
But I'm much better now, I think. Maybe.
Hopefully.
ASMR.
Yes, we will leave it in, I promise you.
So yeah, and I think my whole life is me getting from one opportunity to another and saying yes, saying no, and my life shapes. And if I'm coming back to who am I and what I do for living and who am I in my work and life, I am a project-based person. So basically, not just my partners or choices, but even my career is from project to project, and so I never know what's going to happen next. It's freedom. But also in this kind of freedom, it's very easy to feel trapped as well, because everything lies on you. And then it's very ironic that you kind of trap yourself with freedom, which you wanted freedom, but now the freedom is the trap.
But now everything depends on you. Huh?
Yeah, and you feel like in jail because you're like, oh, but what should I do? And if you're a millennial, and most of the millennials are like perfectionists, it's like a loop you're in. But I think this is life. Some days are better. You move on, you know, do therapy, have friends or whatever, and yeah. Just
this episode for sure is like the promoting people go to therapy, do therapy. Yeah, actually, this is one part of it is, of course, who you are and how you feel about it. But as this is about lesbians, it's also about how our identities interfere and, I don't know, sync with each other. And again, let's focus a bit and stay with the part of your life before the change, and how your identity or being a lesbian has it influenced your life in any way? Maybe not talking about, I don't know, relationships or whatnot, but your everyday life. Because I do get a strong sense of you that like it's not a big deal. That if we're looking back now, have you had any interesting stories in regards to this part of your identity has played a role? Being in the society, functioning in the society.
Oops, she's a thick girl.
There's a lot happening today.
So yeah, in the background, the old cat is sleeping, already passed out. So yeah, welcome to my home. Yes, it definitely influences me being a lesbian, and even if backing up off of being a lesbian, just being a woman, it influences a lot of how you move through world and how you deal with things, because I do feel like the expectation towards women in general is much more higher. At least it feels like, no, it's not just at least it feels like it. It is like that, and it's very hard to not fall into this trap, because it's very easy to lose all confidence here. And I have had work experiences where I was then coming to me being a lesbian. I had a work experience where I was fired just because I had posted pictures online about that I was attending Pride, and that's it. And there was a phone call, and the owner asked me to make my Instagram private. I said, why? I'm just a project manager.
I'm just a girl.
I'm just, and this is how I feel most of the time. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm just a project manager. I'm not a face of the company or whatever. No one knows me even. And I was working there for a month or a month and a half at that point. And basically I did get fired because of that. But that was the breaking point where I actually became more myself, I think. And I did take that job just because
I wanted to challenge them. Huh?
I needed a job and I wanted an office job because I was like, I'm too stressed from thinking all the time, will there be a next project? And let me get an office job. And yeah, on the first day I already knew that there were some red flags, that they had these values about traditional family, and I wanted to prove them wrong and show them how cool we are. And I was cool, I was very good at my job. But at the end, of course, it went how it went, and I'm grateful because after that I became truly more myself, and I was more brave to do my own thing because I'm like, I gave it a chance. And the only chance I gave it to an office job, I was working in a homophobe office, and I was like, okay, that's a sign, you know, maybe I should do my own thing. But yeah, like, a lot of the times the self-doubt and the expectation from society, and it has always been a bit of a struggle. But again, I was lucky that I have, you know, done a lot of jobs. I've been a flight attendant for 2 years as well, which is like, what? But I did it, it was fun, it was good money, and I could travel for free, like I'm in. And yeah, but then I surrounded myself always, I think, you know, like a magnet, I surrounded myself with a lot of women. And I worked in some production company where, again, we were all women. And behind our backs, we know that people were calling us, how would it be in English? Vistus. Like chick something. Vistu kantoris.
Oh, like chicken office.
Like chicken office, but in this kind of very way. And we knew that everyone is calling us that, but at the end of the day, we're getting the projects and and we're getting the money, and it's fine. But you know that people are like, oh, they're probably all sleeping with each other. And we're like, yeah, because there was another lesbian as well. And it's like, you know, we can't be friends. If there's two lesbians, yes, they're like in relationship.
Because lesbians always like each other.
Yeah, no matter what. I know this lesbian, you will probably like her. I'm like, oh my God. So it did shape how everyone else is perceiving you, and it plays tricks on your confidence, it plays tricks on you a lot of times. And when I have felt many times when talking to men where I need something, that they're looking at me and like, and I was
from
blonde,
down,
like longer hair, and yeah, they're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. And then like a minute later, a man walks in and says the same thing, and there's no questions. And at those moments, you're like, I will never gonna win. And that's very depressing and sad. And that's why I always try to find something to do myself, because I always had this issue with authority, because most of the authority was always men. And it's very hard to do the things where you don't feel there's same respect, you know. So, and in Latvia especially. And so yeah, but I was quite lucky that when I came more into the community and became more myself after that last job, and also met you and all that time, which is like already years ago, which is so weird. Yeah, I think I felt more free. And I do like to think that it just attracted more and more of what I was looking for. Or maybe actually probably my eyes were more open, and I was more like alert about the things I actually into, and that's why, you know, everything fell into place. But still, my last job, which is like the biggest of the queer things which I have done.
We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, I think that, and still there, I had a lot of not homophobia, but a lot of sexism was still there, and coming not from just like cis hetero males, but from gays as well, unintentionally a lot of the times, because they were conditioned like that. So it was a big struggle. So yeah, it influences everything you do.
What was your life west, and what kept you going in that life?
In what life? When?
In the life before. Was
Well,
it friends?
yeah.
Was it the belief in like curiosity?
Curiosity for sure. Because I have depressive episodes, let's say how it is. I do have some conditions and I have been medicated for some time, and now I'm medication free. I think, yeah, we shouldn't be afraid to talk about it. Whatever helps you to be happy and move forward, like do it, if you just with professionals, please. But so a lot of the times in my life, I would say 50-50. I feel like there's no point. I can't, I don't want to, and even if I will do these things, there's no point at the end. But then the 50%, the other 50% of me is, but that's the whole point, that there's no point. And that keeps you moving. And this is like how I think what keeps me going. If there's no point, then why shouldn't I just enjoy myself? And it's hard to do it when you feel like you feel, and if you have chemical reactions in your brain, if you have like a disease or like some mental challenges, it's really hard and close to impossible, and even impossible to trick yourself to think like that. But that's why I think the things that kept me going were very good friends, not even friends, but people who I know who somehow were very warm towards me, and just the curiosity of life, and saying yes to things when I even didn't know what I'm saying yes to. I think it brought me a lot of experience, a lot of adventures, not the best, but some very good. And I think it sort of shaped me as a person, and I think I just want to laugh and have fun a lot. And I think somehow in me, that's my survival instinct, to find joke in everything. That's my coping mechanism. But I think there's nothing wrong or bad with it, because as long as I can laugh and be silly and stupid, but still like do cool things and be confident about who am I think I can move forward, and that never goes away. But like I said, when I'm sad, or it's my like more depressive episodes or more low episodes, then yeah, like quite honestly, I could sleep in bed for a week, but I always come back, and I believe I will always come out of it.
Amen to that.
Thank you.
Like praise, slay, I don't know. I will have a lot of souvenirs from
The fur is
here.
everywhere. Oh my God, she loves you.
Oh, I love her too. So now I have no cats, but I have lots of fur. So if the cats want to come back, they can come back.
Ieva.
Come. No, not now, but let it stay. Okay, somehow I think our conversation took a very personal turn, and thank you also for your vulnerability and being open to talk about these things. But now, coming closer to now. Right now I am having a jacket that is actually made by you.
But I have another jacket here. I didn't wear it. Those are upcycled vintage workwear jackets with my hand embroidery on the back and on the front. There's like a clit, there's a vagina, and there's some other trinkets and thingies.
Accessories.
Yes, there you go. Yes.
Yes, and now we're coming into the moment where is the life after, like being more submerged and involved in the queer community. And let's talk about one of your fun projects, maybe the funniest project. Because why I want to bring it up, because we had a couple of conversations about it before, that actually I do not know any other queer place or lesbian-led business in Riga or even in Latvia, at least for people who are openly lesbians. And yes, for some time, well, you're the mother of Skapis.
Thank you.
Can you tell me, and to people who will be watching this and listening to this, what is Skapis? how it happened, and how is it to be a lesbian, a woman in a leading position, in a position of a mother. I know you like this term, so let's go with it.
Yeah. So interesting. Everything about it is very interesting, unexpected, out of nowhere, and you do things as you go and learn things as you go. And for me, so yeah, like I think it's 3 years ago or something it started already. I don't know.
I think
something
around
like
now it could be the anniversary.
There came this, we should look for some chats and maybe, okay, that's a different story. But yeah, around 3 years ago there came, this opportunity came along that there was a person in Latvia who is in the catering business and that this person wants to open a, I think, gay club was the first wording, and then somehow through our mutual friends we met, and there was a question who wants to do it, who wants to manage it, or because there was nothing, there was just a location. That's it, I guess, at that point. No name, no concept, no idea. At first there was even no location. We were speculating where it could be.
Because also maybe for the background, Riga is not the queerest place.
No, not at all. We have one gay club for years and years and years, and we had another gay club which was closed at that point for like 5-6 years, something like that. So not a lot of queer places, queer friendly places, sure, but not a lot of like whatever, queer place, not even. So yeah, and then there was a question who wants to do it, and I was quite shy at that point to say yes, me, but then you and everyone who was there was like, Ieva will do it. And I'm like, yeah, sure, I will do it, because I was working in this production company, project to project, and it was not fulfilling, and a very male dominated industry as well, and this is the industry where everyone would call us chicks, and everything behind our backs, that's a kitty in the background. So yeah, and I was like, okay, let's do it. And I had zero knowledge about how to manage or open a bar or a nightclub or a queer space or even any kind of space from zero. I had been working, well, I did work when I was like 17 till 21 as a bartender, as a waitress. That's all my knowledge about this industry. And mostly they were summer jobs, of course.
Is this your moment of what would the white cis men do?
Yeah, you say yes with big confidence, but again, I didn't have the confidence, because I remember the owner who wanted to do this. There were, I don't know how many times he asked me, but you will really do it? Yes, you will really do it. I don't know why it's kind of a Russian accent came out, but yeah, that's me impersonating him, and he's Latvian. But yeah, he asked me a lot of times, because I feel like, you see, that's the difference. I didn't have, because I was like, yeah, I will do it, but I'm not gonna tell you, go on, yes, we're gonna do it 100%. Like, well, I don't know, I will do my freaking best, you know? And then very shortly, yeah, we had this conversation around this time 3 years ago, and by February we already opened the place. We had fully demolished and open. We had the name, people, everyone, like the concept, like it was happening. And that's how I became the mother of Skapis, in translation closet, a queer space for queer people, from queers to queers, and never used the name gay club except in the search tags, because it searches very well in Google. And again, that tells us something. But yeah, I think for me, and yeah, it was like a roller coaster as well, because in small businesses and here in Riga especially, you don't have a big team behind it. You don't have a social manager person. At least we didn't have. We don't have a manager. I also DJ'd. I was doing everything. And it was quite exhausting at first. You having all this hype and all this good positive feedback, and like the highlights are one weekend it's like this is the best weekend ever, and then comes another weekend, and then we're in Russian propaganda, and you know, like these things are happening, and you're like, you can drive on it for quite some time. But my life was, weekdays I was like managing and doing all these sort of boring things, and on weekends at nights I was there either DJing or hosting or doing God knows what. So it was a lot, but it was very fulfilling, and I felt like, I was doing what I want to do. And I became the mother of Skapis. I'm a person who is child-free and doesn't want any children in my life, thank you, but I became a mother. This is how the irony of life. And
the nurturing role.
The nurturing role. And I did feel like that as well, because in the community there's nothing to hide because of the society, because of the fact that Latvia as well is very homophobic. A lot of us are struggling with a lot of things, with a lot of internalized things, with shame, with guilt, and it was not just managing some workers, it was managing a lot of emotions as well a lot of the times, because we did have a lot of backlash, and it was thinking about security and thinking about everyone, like all these little details. So it was fulfilling, it was stressful, and I actually did feel like a mother. I would assume, not to take it away from mothers who are actually raising kids, but I felt like that, at least in this queer community where we use this name. And I did my best with my palm on my heart. I feel like I did what I can, but I also had a very great supportive system, and the support system was just the people around me having their events at our place. And now I can also say I did a lot for the community behind the owner's back, because that's why also the business not always was like very good, because money wise I did give first hand was always to queer people, and I will not ask money if I see I can make the money some different way, because this is what I prioritized and what was important to me. So that was.
I also want to say that the title of a mother didn't come from you. It was the community actually who gave it to you. So I think.
Thank you for clearing that up. Yes. I didn't call myself mother.
No, I also want to reassure that it was not invisible.
Good.
That's why also in the beginning I said like the legends of Ieva Mits and so on. But I think, do you know anybody else, any other lesbian who is owning a business and being open?
I know at least, not at least, I know 2 lesbians. It's weird to say at least 2 lesbians when I really know I know 2 lesbians who are business owners. One of them is known, but it's just not a public business, not a public platform or anything, so no one would really know. And the same goes with the other, but one of them is quite closeted. And so I do know these people, but I know why the one person is closeted, because you don't want it to become your whole personality. When your business is not in connection about you being a lesbian, you being a woman, you just are providing a very awesome service. It's very cool, and I think when people do come to this realization or that this woman is a lesbian, there comes some stigma around it, and it shouldn't, because nothing changed. And the other woman, again, she's so freaking successful, and and no one cares, and she doesn't care because people are calling her names, and she doesn't care because she's so successful. Then she's already there, she built her up, and definitely was not easy, and she came out also very late when she was already at the position where she had all the safety. So, which is very sad, and but no others. I think there probably are some women, and they're most probably closeted just because of the same reasons, because you don't want to associate your whole identity with this part of your life just because you're like a woman who loves women. And for me, I was in a very privileged situation because my whole personality was my whole brand. Like the more lesbian I am, the better, you know. The more I show it off and talk about it, it helps the brand, it helps us feel safe. And I think that was my sort of activism, just being loud and being a lesbian. And, you know, that's amazing. So
I think it kind of explains itself, because we want a point of connection. We want to relate, and it plays a big role. And why I'm asking about other lesbians who are in like leading positions or business owners and so on, because I want to see these examples. I believe you want to see these examples, to just have a living proof that things are possible while you're in peace with your identity, while you're living your life just as you want it, and you can still get things done and be loved and be accepted and everything. So I think you have become also one of these women as well by doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
And also I want to mention that this year I think you got your proof from the outside world, because you have become also an LGBT hero of 2025.
Yes, oh my God, stop it.
And it was people who spoke.
Yeah, that was actually very unexpected. Well, first of all, just because I missed the memo that there's even this thing is happening, because you could vote in, and I didn't see it. And when I saw it, it was already done. And then I think some of my friends, someone told me, oh, you should have it. I'm like, well, there's other people. And I even named one of the persons who also got the award, and I'm like, there's so many people. And then when I got the call like a day or something before, I'm like, you stupid. Well, these people voted. I'm like, I take.
Just take it.
Yeah, no, because these, it's a good thing you mentioned, because these kind of, I would want to be so self-sufficient that I don't need this approval from outside. I know who I am. No, most of the time I'm very struggling with being confident, with being okay with who am I, and with not having to have this external approval. But I do need it. It just has to be a healthy amount. And this was a point where I felt like, because I wasn't working at Skapis at that point anymore, and it was just like period moment for me. So yeah. That was beautiful, yeah.
And let's talk about the jackets.
So I left Skapis. This is how it started at Skapis somewhat, but it actually started like 5 years ago as a joke. But yeah, I left Skapis just because, like I said before, it was a lot of work, a lot of juggling everything. And at the end, I went away. One, I was burned out, and second of all, the vision I wanted to keep on building there was completely different than the owner's one. And I already was like, okay, I don't want my name here anymore, and I just can't fight anymore, because it was like I had to make a decision. And it was hard because I built it together with some people from complete ground zero, and it's hard to say goodbye to something, and you have all these feelings and emotions, but at the end, it was the right decision, because after that 2 months I was like completely burnt out, and it was hard for me to even consider even doing anything. But then shortly I started to do some things as a person who works from project to project, who is mostly creative, and I need some inspiration. Like a lot of people, we do need an inspiration to do things, and I am very privileged to find inspiration, to find an outlet, and to actually achieve things. And this is, I don't even want to call it a small business, but I want to say that this is a hobby which turned into me making some profit as well. And as I understand, the more I'm getting older, I'm becoming myself, I understand that my work now, and I really hope it's going to be like that, 99% my work is going to be deeply connected with who I am, mirroring it, because these jackets are very coming about me being a lesbian, a woman, a feminist, and it's just like a little joke, but people resonated with it and people wanted to have these jackets. Already I have lined up 2 small ideas for clothing, which I probably will do. and I will try to make him very affordable for everyone, because these took a lot of time, you know. But again, I was burnt out, and it was good for me. So all these jackets actually, which I made, are made with love, because I was chill, just doing the thing and feeling calm. So actually made with love. But there's so that's what I'm doing. I have a vintage shop at the moment. I'm actually just taking a break and finally feeling inspired again, because after Scapis, which was a massive project, which was a very successful project for me, I'm very proud of it, and there was a peak moment where I was like this is it, you know. And then you just need team to keep on going. So with that experience, with that knowledge which I learned there, and thank you for that, that I had this opportunity, I will move forward. And I just needed this break because it's very, very empty. And now I appreciate being chill, and I don't want to say lazy, because it's not lazy, but just being chill and calm and not striving to conquer the world. It's also a great privilege to have that, and that's very underrated. To do nothing, amazing. And there's another big project in my mind, which now is just on the paper, and there's some talks maybe going, but I don't want to jinx it, because now there's this video and I'm mentioning it, and I think it will be interesting to see after like 6 months or 7 months how the progress will go, because it is in connection with having a space or a place for people. It is about me feeling the role of being nurturing in a way, and I feel like that's something I'm good at, and I have more knowledge and experience, and I know more people, and I see how we could work together and not make the same mistakes. We will make new mistakes, no worries. Oh. But yeah, I think I will. The thing I want to do is build a life for me where I can feel confident as a woman and a lesbian, where the outside world doesn't influence as much the way I move around it. There's still politics, there's still a lot of things. It's harder and it's a longer run to influence, but to have this microclimate or this bubble of a safe space, I think I'm capable of it. And also a lot of people around me are capable of it. So I think, yeah, but we'll see. Let's not jinx it.
No, we don't jinx it, we manifest it.
We manifest it.
I'm trying to break this thing in my brain. It's like, oh, jinx it. And I'm like, no, I'm manifesting it. I'm really, you know?
Yeah, well, so I will have to say it out loud at some point, because you will be invested as well, I think.
Let's see. But you haven't named the brand, because I also want to add
Oh my God, yes, Orgasmic Ideas. Orgasmic Ideas. Yeah, because and that's a very funny story. And as you see, yeah, the things I do are with me being a lesbian, and also with me being a bit impatient. Because years and years ago, like already it's like 5 years ago, I think, I was also hand embroidering a beret, and I wanted to embroider orgasmic thoughts. But I already had to go somewhere because I was making the beret for that evening, and thoughts was too long of a word. And what is shorter? Because the first word was already, oh, I can't. It was just a less of these thingies. And I was like, orgasmic ideas. And then now, years and years later, when I was doing these jackets, and I'm now making some t-shirts and tank tops, and it was like, okay, we call it orgasmic ideas. And I think underneath the orgasmic ideas, we will have some other things and projects. It doesn't have to be clothing, because orgasmic ideas is just something when you have a great idea and you're like, oh my God, that's that moment, you know. And I think a lot of can go under that, and we can work with that. It's just like, yeah, my wish to everyone is to have more orgasmic ideas, and then the courage to pursue them.
I was just about to ask you, like, what do you want to manifest in your life and the society and the world? So you kind of really, I think, went ahead. But yes, made happen. And there is also a question that I ask all of my guests, which is it's not being a guest. It's just capturing, I am a guest in your life. And what I'm asking is, do you have any lesbian dream?
My little lesbian dream.
Yes.
yeah, have happiness and peace.
Happiness?
Happiness? No. Yeah, more
I mean,
lesbian.
if it makes you happy, sure,
But yeah, more lesbian visibility. But yeah, my lesbian dream is to feel free and not be having this kind of stamp just because you're a lesbian. And if you do have the stamp, then it's just only in positive way. I would want to say that this is more not just like a lesbian dream, it's like a feminist dream as well, to feel equal, to feel accepted in any room where you go in, to feel not afraid to walk on dark streets, you know, or listen to some music on a night walk. Some very basic things, but I understand that through therapy and everything that I have a lot of unresolved issues and fears against, because I have had some trauma, and that's a different story. But the dream would be to feel equal, to feel accepted, to feel confident. I wish us to feel more pleasure with our own bodies and understanding with our own bodies, and to be more happy within myself. And this is what I wish to myself, to feel happy, because I think this is the main thing. The more happy people we will have, the more happy will be the society. Simple, yet no.
Significant.
Yes, thank you.
Well, may our dreams come true.
Yes.
Lesbian and not lesbian, may our dreams come true. Thank you again. Let's see what the future will bring. There will be surely more lesbian stories captured and documented. Thank you to the European Commission. Thank you to the Euro-Central Asian lesbian community for helping us to start this up. I'm quite sure this is gonna live on, because I'm very, very sure that there are so many lesbian stories to capture, to inspire, to share the message that we can and we will. And we are already in the process. So thank you again. Thank you to the souvenirs that I have
from
here.
The cat, from the
yes.
pussycat.
And see you another time. Bye.
Nu, burvīgi.
Wow.
Menisks atteicās uz beigām.